All right. Oops, I forgot to do something. All right, I'll fix that next week. I know that is not the correct sign. That says Money Mania.
We'll fix it.
Yeah, we'll fix it over the weekend. I'm still working on this stuff, All right, so
Anyway,
Well, don't you remember the way the days of the week go? It's Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
that's probably what Thor. That's probably what Thor would have done if you watched this week's episode of What If.
I'll have to do that at the weekend.
Yeah, trust me, if you get a chance to watch What If, this one is the funniest by far.
How does it compare to the episode about the thing longer?
I don't know. Mm. Alright, so anyway,
all right.
it is Thursday night here at Beyond the Airways Leveling Up, and it's time for our Toss Up Thursday episode, which tonight is Attention to One. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about cultural misrepresentations we probably didn't even know about.
But before we do that,
Mm-hmm.
something important happened today.
Yes, and I
And
didn't
we're
even
gonna-
know this. All right, let me
We're
do the
going to take care of that first.
All right, let me do the intros real quick, and we'll get right to it. Anyway, I'm your host for tonight. I am Yatta. Hard to believe it was 15 years ago Heroes started. All right, so anyway, to my left we have our master and creator Frodo. Hello, Frodo.
I just got one thing to say to everyone.
What was it? All right, to my right we have our resident Joker, Mike. Hello, Mike.
Evening, everyone. Happy Thursday. I got it right this time.
And let's see, to my bottom left we have Don't Wear a Motion Capture Suit into the Bathroom, John. Hello, John.
Hey, Shirley. And remember, that is good advice, especially if they don't turn off the sensors.
Yeah. But also, in seriousness, don't wear your superhero suit to the bathroom either.
Depends on the nature of its construction.
True. All right, and finally we have Miss Contentedly Happy Janet. Hello, Janet.
Hi, everybody. I'm a little bit more awake than I was last night.
That's okay. That's fine. And I'll tell you right now, before we get started, I'm a little anxious because I am getting my second shot tomorrow. But at least this time, I'm going straight home. So.
All right, let's start shit off.
All right.
Tonight, this afternoon, at about 5 o'clock, we have a Nintendo Direct.
Frodo,
Now-
you might when you're on mute.
Oh,
And John,
I
can
thought
you
I
mute yours?
was.
And John, can you mute yours just a little bit? Okay, go ahead.
All right. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So, we had a Nintendo Direct today. And while, yes, there were quite a few interesting things, new footage of Bayonetta 3 being one of them, new footage of Metroid Dread. And I reiterate what I said in the chat, Shirley. If anyone gets me that game for my birthday, I will be on top of the fucking world. Because I'm a Metroid fanatic.
Let me toss this thing here. Hold on.
And then we also got some news about a new update to NSO. NSO, for those that don't know, is Nintendo Switch Online. It's their method for having online multiplayer games, and it does work all right. But as people are getting more interested in it, Nintendo decided to drop a huge bombshell on us. Huge in that no matter how much they ask us to pay per month for this service, it's going to be worth every fucking dime. Okay, they announced that you're going to be able to have Sega Genesis and Nintendo 64 games. Now, the Nintendo 64 lineup, nothing really noteworthy. The only noteworthy game in that is called Sin and Punishment, and that was originally...
The only noteworthy game in the Nintendo 64 roster is called Mario Kart 64.
Well, that's in NSO. So that's good. But the as far as monetarily noteworthy games, as in games that are worth money here in the secondary market, the only one that's noteworthy in that sense is Sin and Punishment, which was originally only released in Japan.
Hmm.
Yes. Also,
Okay.
another game that's coming to is uh Banjo Kazooie, which is a rare title,
Yeah,
which
It
is
I've
is.
actually
technically
heard of
owned
it.
by Microsoft.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard of it.
It's
Oh.
rare
See?
too,
But
but it's. Go
at
ahead.
that point, GoldenEye 007 could also be part of it as well.
Yep.
I'm hoping on that because that's my favorite game on the N64 besides Super Mario 64 and Mario Kart 64.
Hmm.
I love GoldenEye.
Continuing though, those are really the only two noteworthy games on the N64 side. Yes, we are getting Ocarina of Time. Yes, we're getting the original Super Mario 64.
And yes, that is your opinion about what makes a game noteworthy.
I'm only stating monetarily noteworthy at this point, John. Great, they're all great games. Every single one of them on the 64 side is great. But then they dropped the bombshell that they're also releasing Sega Genesis games on that.
That would include Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is in there. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine is in there.
Hmm.
But there are 4 games that I know to be exceedingly rare on the Sega Genesis that are on this collection.
Okay.
Number 1, Rise Star.
I'll be
A
right back.
really comparatively recent game in the Sega Genesis library. The reason it's so rare is because it was released right at the tail end of the Genesis's life. A complete in-box version of Rise Star is $289.97, roughly $300
Whew.
for one game. Okay. Second, Musha, Musha, 1990 game released for the Sega Genesis, cartridge only. This doesn't have the box or anything with it. $349.95, so roughly $350.
Dang, makes me sorry I got rid of my Nintendo games.
Another game, another complete in-box game here. Contra Hardcore is worth $140. Okay. And Gunstar Heroes, a 1993 release game, complete in box, tested and authentic, is $180 worth. Now, if you take all those amounts and add them together, the worth of the games that you're getting just on the Genesis, okay, is $970. Now, with that knowledge, they can literally ask for $20 a month extra for NSO plus expansion pass, and it would be worth it.
Question.
But my can I finish what I'm saying quick and I'll let you go? My prediction is that right now NSO as it stands is about $20 a year for a single console. My prediction is that NSO is probably not going to be more than $35 a year for the NSO plus expansion pass, which is beyond worth the money.
Well, here's the thing. It's also $35 for the family plan too. Keep that in mind.
Which means if they do the family plan and up it, they'd probably up that to like 50. Which $50, 4 consoles, 1 year.
Well,
That's a
you could add up to 7.
Yeah, but that's a fucking insane deal. And when you're talking literally hundreds upon hundreds of dollars worth of games, it's amazing. And I'll just say this. They also released information about another game they're releasing, which is like a card game RPG. Which sounds pretty interesting too. But yeah, that was the biggest thing from the NSO, the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, and then
except for one small little tiny little thing.
A movie.
Yes. Mike, you want to take that one?
Yep. So they officially they didn't officially drop a title. It's just Super Mario movie. That's all we know at this point. But they gave a release date of December 21st, 2022. And they announced the cast for the characters. Hold on a second.
I know Chris Pratt is doing Mario and Jack Black is doing Bowser. I know that much already.
Yes.
The question is he going to look like a motion capture version of Bowser, or is he going to look like Jack Black in cornrows in a suit acting like a misophobe?
No, I think
it's voice acting, John.
It's animated. This is gonna be animated. So
okay.
We do not have to worry about.
I know they made one, I think, almost feature-length animated Mario movie. It's Japanese, but
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
let me finish here.
I really hope.
Wait.
Okay, fine.
Okay, let Mike finish
go
first.
Go ahead, because I'm still finding an article on
Okay,
this.
go ahead, John. Then.
In light of that, I move to propose something, guys. I propose that we seek out Bob Hoskins' grave, tie a bunch of alternating pole permanent magnets to his body, wrap several windings of copper wire around his casket, and wire that, since I think he's buried somewhere in England, to all the main power stations in Europe.
Highgate Cemetery, London, United Kingdom.
Okay, then we'll power it through Electric Avenue.
Okay, all right, go ahead, Mike. I'll get it.
So, the voice actors are as follows: Chris Pratt as Mario, Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach, Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad.
Oh, that's not bad.
Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Nice.
Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong. Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek.
Ooh, I like that guy's voice. I love that guy's voice. He's so good.
I think Kevin Michael Richardson should be Bowser, and I'll tell you why. Had Tony Jay not passed away when I was a senior in high school, he should have been the one voicing Bowser.
Oh, Janet, I had to mute you.
Anyway,
continuing.
Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike, and surprise cameos from the man, the myth, the legend, Charles Martinet.
Yay!
Who is the original voice of Mario from Super Mario 64.
Nice.
And pretty much every game onward.
He's been the voice of Mario since Super Mario
96.
64. He's done it in every
Okay.
game.
All right, hold on. Janet has raised her hand, and Janet, I had to mute you, so you need to unmute. Okay, so there. All right,
There you
go
go.
ahead.
Frodo, going back to that game, that 90 game thing, do you have to have a game console for them, or are they online?
Console.
You'd have to have the Switch, but they
That
are
works me out.
digital.
Okay, Mike, quick question. Tell me what you think of this. In light of this particularly varied cast of characters, how likely do you think it is this movie is going to involve a go-kart race at some point?
I have no clue. Like, there's very little
Yeah, there's not.
details at this point.
I
Mhm.
really hope it does.
Well, just have to wait and see. I mean, if it's animated, it'd be great if they do, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to get that information to you, man.
No. It's fine. You know, this was
You're
important
good.
because we know I didn't know it was coming, so it's like they had a Nintendo Direct today. I was like, well, unfortunately, I got off work at the time that thing started, so.
I hate to bring this up again, but I just had a thought. I know exactly who should voice Bowser, not Jack Black. You ready?
Who?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes!
And
Damn it,
yes,
he
I
would be
If he
could
can play
perfect!
Smaug, he can definitely
can
play
definitely-
Bowser.
That man
Yeah.
He
can.
also played Khan,
Hmm.
but I like that idea. However, I'm all for giving Jack Black a chance. He
Okay,
has shown Jack Black has, to be fair, shown that he has plenty of acting chops other than just straight comedy.
you're right. But here's the problem, Frodo. His voice. I don't know about you, but when I have imagined Bowser speaking, I have never heard him in my mind's ear sounding like Jack Black. At most, how do I describe this?
Well, Jack Black was
Let
Poe
me
in
see
the
if I
Kung
can-
Fu Panda movies, so.
Well, yeah, but the thing of it is, let me see if I can do how I imagined him sounding. When I was young, I imagined him sounding kind of like this. Kind of thing where he would yell, growl, all that kind of thing. And the fact is, when I heard somebody dub some of Tony J's lines from his acting career into Bowser's mouth, I thought, that is the voice.
Hmm.
And the fact is, there is an actor alive who can mimic that, and his name is Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh,
In
yeah.
fact, in 2010, he did just that. Because, I mean, I'll tell you this. It's one thing if they modulate Jack Black's voice to the point, the same way they did for Benedict Cumberbatch when he played Smaug.
Hmm.
They would actually mix in elements of a crocodile snarling, for example.
Hmm.
If they do something like that with Black, yeah, maybe he can pull it off. He might sound similar to what I heard in my mind's ear.
Hmm.
But I think more likely somebody with Benedict Cumberbatch's voice would do the character better.
Yeah, because here's the thing. He does not do a lot of voice acting, but when he does, it is very incredible quality.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and there's one further game that we need to mention
Yeah.
that was announced
Hmm.
and released today.
Oh.
ActRaiser Renaissance.
Ooh, okay.
Now-
Don't know about that one.
If you remember the original Super Nintendo game, it was very hard.
Hmm.
But if you remember the old show, Nick Arcade.
Yes,
I
I remember
do.
that. I do remember that.
I do.
That was one of the games they loved to play.
I missed it. What did you say was the name of the game?
ActRaiser Renaissance.
I mostly remember them playing games where kids had to run through the jungle trying to collect bananas like coins.
Well, no.
Secret of the Hidden Temple?
I'm talking at the actual arcade machines. During the course of the game, they would
Okay.
run over those spots that were video challenge, and then they'd go over to like stand-up arcades. And
Yeah.
ActRaiser was one of the games that was super common there.
Oh, okay. Because I remember there was a show on TBS. I think Jeff Edwards was the host, and it was playing video games. I cannot remember the name of it. Was it Starcade or something like that? It was before Nick Arcade. I know that much. Let me see if I can look it up.
Well,
Keep talking.
mostly what I remember about 90s Nick was not being allowed to watch Ren and Stimpy or Rocco's Modern Life.
There.
Of course, when you have episodes that involve people chanting wee wee like it's political slogan, I'm not real surprised.
Shirley,
Mhm.
we've got the what do you call it? Fair use up, right?
Yeah, fair use is on our thing for permanently now. On our
Alright.
on our description.
I just popped a YouTube video
Okay.
on. Go ahead and pop it up.
Okay. Whoa.
and play it.
All right. Whoa. Give me a chance to get to it.
Just share it in the Zoom chat.
No, Facebook.
Okay.
Okay.
Where in the? Ah, there it is. Okay.
Where in the hell is Carmen Sandiego?
Okay. All right. Let me get the. Oh, hold it. I want to get. Don't start it yet. Okay. Hang on. Bear with me, everybody. Still not quite
Can you
fast
tell
enough
me
yet.
when you start playback?
Yeah, I will in just a second. Okay, let me get over here. There we go. All right.
Burton.
Right here. All right. Ready to start playback. Here we go.
This was what was played on Nick Arcade.
All right, here we go.
Now you remember?
It's not ringing a bell.
Not for me either, but
Kind of reminds me of Kirby.
In some ways. It's a very linear game. But basically, the challenge back in the day was to get 1,500 points in 30 seconds.
ooh, okay.
Nice.
So,
But yeah, but you know, but I will tell you this on YouTube. There, I think you guys have probably seen this. There is a Benedict Cumberbatch supercut video of all the things he's done, including being Doctor Strange in What If. And by the way, here's something. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Back in the Doctor Strange movie in 2016, Benedict Cumberbatch was basically battling himself. He was the voice of Dormammu. So,
Because that's what the kids love these days. Existentialism.
yep. But yes, he basically battled himself. And of course, Watson battled Sherlock because, you know, Bilbo Baggins was, what's his name? Martin Freeman. And then, of course, Smaug was Benedict Cumberbatch. Of course, he was Sherlock. So it's like, oh my God, Sherlock is battling Watson here?
Mr. Holmes, I did not come here to wrong you in any way. I merely wish to gaze upon the glory of your deductive prowess. I thought they were stories. I did not believe them. And do you believe them now?
Yes, sir. but, uh, but, but seriously, I mean, he doesn't do a lot of voice acting, but the way he does it, it is absolutely amazing. Especially when you add some things to it. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize he was a voice in the Battle of the Five Armies where those demons, I forgot what they were called. I apologize. But he did the voice of that too. It's like, damn. He may
Do you
not
know
do
he
a
was
lot, but he does it in quality.
Do you know he was the voice of the titular character in the latest Dr. Seuss adaptation?
The Grinch, yep, he was fantastic.
And it's
Also,
amazing because you couldn't, listening to the Grinch speak, you could not tell that was the same guy who voiced Smaug. You
Yeah,
couldn't even tell it was the same guy who played Sherlock Holmes.
exactly.
all right, guys.
Yeah, what's up?
Some other news with regard to ActRaiser
Okay.
Renaissance. It's not just on Switch.
Hmm.
It's also at least on PS4 or 5.
Wow. Very interesting. All right. Well, I don't know. By the way, I don't know if anybody noticed this, but I started like a little countdown thing now. So it's like we can go live, like we can start this live, but I keep everything muted, so all you see is our cute little quokka. Yes, in case you don't know, that creature is called a quokka. It is native to Western Australia, and the one most notable feature is its smile. It always smiles. It is always
So does the
smiling.
Joker, though. Though, unfortunately, that doesn't mean it's a
His
good
is
idea to
chemical
smile back.
though.
Yeah. Yeah, but quokkas are native to Western Australia because someone had posted one on Facebook. I gotta find out what this thing is. It's cute, and sure enough, it's native to the western end of Australia. I think it's on an island. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's like
Okay.
I think you only get around like you only get around on a bike on it. Go ahead,
I,
go ahead, Frodo.
I can confirm what systems it's on.
Okay.
Switch, PS4, Steam PC, App Store, so iOS,
Mm.
and Google Play.
Android, there is it's
So-
everywhere practically.
Yeah, except for Xbox.
everywhere.
It's here, it's there, it's everywhere.
It's up your button around the corner.
They're far, they're near, they're gone, they're here, they're quick, they're slick, they're insincere. Beware, beware, be very wary, bear.
All I gotta say to that is corn, 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 corn. What's that smell? Sorry,
Nice.
couldn't resist that one. That song's been stuck in my head for a while now.
Cool.
Maybe you should put it on your iPod.
I could probably do that. It's easy to find. All right, well, we've already used up
Amazing
half.
how far we come.
Yeah. Let's see, we're already used up a half an hour or so. I think this will probably work just fine then. All right, so basically the topic tonight for attention to one is cultural misrepresentations. I'll get it right. That we actually didn't even know about because there are characters I've seen like Miko from Transformers Prime, and there's the Life and Times of Juniper Lee from Cartoon Network. You see all these girls with like a bit of a streak in their hair. Basically, what that means is I did not know this. It's a rebellious streak, which kind of leads to the problem, which I was not even aware of, because assuming that you don't have a streak means you are subjected to being submissive. So, what happened? Meng'er Zhang, who plays the character Xialing in the new Shang-Chi movie, she discovered that she was going to have that, and she was able to convince the director and everyone on the set not to do it.
Nice.
And I just happen to have the article. So I'm going to
Share,
put that.
please.
I shall in un momento.
Bless you, Mike.
That wasn't me.
I think that was Frodo.
Yeah.
Bless
All
you,
right.
Frodo.
All right, it's in the Zoom chat. I'm gonna put it in Facebook chat, and I'm also gonna put it in the YouTube chat. So bear with me, growl. So we got that there. Okay, now give me just a second. I'm gonna put it in Discord as well. So bear with me, folks. All right, put that there. All right, so let me get over to the actual article, and this is in BuzzFeed. And let me see, let me get this to articles so I can at least do that. There we go. All right. Okay, so here we go. Meng'er Zhang stepped in to fix Xialing's stereotypical Asian hair in Shang-Chi. So, here's what happened. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has the internet abuzz for all the good reasons. One of the good reasons is its quartet of strong female characters, one of whom is Xialing, portrayed by Xialing, thanks. I knew I got it wrong. Xialing, portrayed by Meng'er Zhang.
Zhang.
Zhang. Thank you. See, I always have trouble with this. Alright, so, Zhang's character is a fierce and skilled fighter who is the top dog in a male-dominated violent world. She also has no love lost for her 1,000-year-old father, Wenwu. Even though this is Zhang's first movie, she has made an indelible impression on viewers. Not only does she electrify this eye-popping extravaganza, she also made some serious changes to the movie behind the camera. However, one fact fans of the movie might not know yet is that Zhang's character was originally portrayed with hair wearing the color red. Originally, my character had some odd red color extensions underneath my hair, Zhang said in an interview. She had already finished. Bless you.
Excuse me.
That's alright, you're fine. She had already finished one mother shooting when one day, thanks to an article in Teen Vogue, she felt that she had fallen victim to a problematic trope centered on Asian rebellious female characters. Zhang explained further, "We have already shot the film for over a month, and one day, let me try it again. We have already shot the film for over a month, and one day, and I just read an article from Teen Vogue. It said how Asian female characters in Hollywood films always have a hint of color in their hair to show that they are rebels, they are tough, they can fight. In a trope that is quite common in Hollywood, the easiest way to show the East Asian support female characters are cool and rebellious is to streak their hair with garish purple or red." Now, I don't know who that character is on the left, but I know on the right that's Miko from Transformers Prime, and as you can see, she's got that streak in her hair. Alright, so the
I'm gonna
trope.
bounce out so you guys can finish without any interruptions.
Okay.
Take care, Frodo. Take
Alright,
care of the
later.
cough.
All right.
You
Okay.
can stay on. I'm not worried.
Okay. Anyway, the trope is problematic because it indirectly reinforces a belief that Asian women with normal or natural hair color are meek and submissive. Nevertheless, Zhang realized just in time that she too has become another sheep shepherded by this trope and decided to undo it. She revealed, "I talked to our director, Destin. I asked him if we could take it out, and they supported me and they agreed with me." Of course, Destin refers to Destin Daniel Cretton, the director. He corroborated the turn of events, saying, "Meng'er had sent me this article about how Asian female characters often in movies don't use their natural hair color, that characters are often using color to show that they are rebels or outsiders or whatnot, and that itself was contributing to a certain type of stereotype. Okay. And when she sent that, she asked, is it too late to change? And to Marvel's credit, they didn't blink an eye. We instantly changed her hair from that point moving forward, and then went back through the footage, and through the magic of VFX, took all of that out. Nice. Aren't we all glad that Meng'er Zhang decided to junk that colored hair look? Because, boy, she looks really good.
You want to know
Oh.
something?
What?
Honestly,
I think any other director would have said, no, we're not going to do it. We've already shot some of it with the color in it.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Some
John, go ahead.
directors probably wouldn't have. Now go ahead.
maybe
John.
I'm just paying attention to the wrong things, but looking back at strong Asian female characters I've seen in movies, I generally haven't seen them with unnatural hair color. Uh, I've seen Asian villainesses portrayed with their natural hair color. Uh, Mulan, in both the animated and the live action. Granted, that was supposed to take place in ancient China, but she was portrayed that way too, and I've never seen her portrayed otherwise. But like I said, maybe I'm looking in the wrong places. Maybe anime, which really doesn't depict the wrong thing about Asian women, because the nature of anime is literally that it is a Japanese take on Western society.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe anime does portray girls who keep their natural hair color as meek and submissive, while those girls who dye their hair are strong and tough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
In some of my, oh, go ahead.
But I have seen evidence to suggest that if that is a pattern, it's not that complete, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's
I gotcha.
statistical potentially, but not complete.
Right, because because I watched Transformers Prime 4 with Miko with that hair, and yeah, she was a rebel, no mistake about it. But I didn't know about this either. I mean, I'll be honest, this caught me by surprise. Oh, okay, Janet's raised her hand. Sorry, Janet, go ahead.
Okay, Shirley knows I watch these Asian videos in the morning. And they're Vietnamese videos, Asian videos. And there's one character, she doesn't have any streaks in her hair. Her name is Sister Bai. I don't know how it's pronounced, but I call her Sister Bai, B-I.
Okay.
And she is tough, firm and tough. And she doesn't have streaks in her hair. In fact, she's a blonde. She's a blonde in some of the videos, and
brunette and others.
Brunette, well, brown, brunette, and others.
Mm-hmm.
But you
quick
can be
thing,
strong and non-submissive without the streaks.
We know.
Mm-hmm.
Quick thing, Jen. I think you've been saying it wrong this whole time. It's not Vietnamese, it's Vietnamese.
Yeah. Vietnamese. Like my mother is.
Yes.
What did I say?
Vietnamese.
Yeah, you kind of
pronounced it like you were saying aminal instead of animal.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's
Didn't
okay.
mean to insult anybody.
No, it's okay. It's a simple mistake. It happens. Because it's easy. It's easy to twist. It's easy to twist. Yeah, Vietnamese. Think Vietnam plus
Vietnam
ease.
with ease at the end.
There you go. That's it.
Okay.
That's a good way to remember.
Thank you for the polite correction there, John.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, but I mean, I've watched a lot of the tokusatsu shows, the tokusatsu shows, I should say, on that Shout Factory channel on Pluto, and I have not really seen a lot of the female characters have streaks in their hair at all. So
are they a healthy mix of personalities?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Good.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, seriously, when they have the original, these are like the original Power Ranger shows over in Japan. People die. There's a lot of violence. Whereas here they have to tone it down.
Well, I hate to say it, but while Meng'er, or how's her name spelled?
MENG''ER.
Meng'er Zhang did have a valid point in that she didn't want people to think she was only strong because she colored her hair. It looks like her initial rationale that traditionally Asian women who kept their hair color were submissive may not be as founded as it looks.
That might be true.
I really hope I didn't just trip all over my words there.
No, I don't think you did, because it's one. Like I said, this one caught me by surprise because I looked like, wow, I didn't even know that happened.
Oh,
So is Lulu going to make an appearance?
maybe. She just walked in the room.
Lulu.
It's not appearing in this
Oh,
film. It's
God.
appearing.
I was on the phone with Mike last night and Lulu decides she wants Mike to herself because she came up.
Yeah, because
Real
I had
loud.
Jan
It's
on.
for sure not appearing in this film.
I had Jan on the speaker, and she thought I was talking to Mom. Because that's what I do when I'm on the speaker. I'm talking to Mom. And so
What's
Lulu
for
like,
sure
like to
not
say hi to
appearing in
Mom.
this film doing?
All right. But I'm glad that the director respected her enough to do that.
Mm-hmm. And
Like
Marvel
I
also
said-
backed her too, so.
Most directors and film companies would not do that. They would totally diss the actor as well as the, well, you know what I think you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And I'll be honest. One thing I've never liked, when they reboot a TV show, like for example, what was it?
Manimal.
Ironside. The original, of course, had Perry Mason. Of course, they had that new one with, I forgot the actor's name, Blair Underwood. It did not last very long, unfortunately, because
Oh, guys, check it out.
oh,
Hi, Lulu.
Lulu.
Hi, Lulu.
Lulu. Oh, he's gone.
Oh,
Like, never mind.
another reboot that I it's a reboot of The Equalizer with Queen Latifah.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't do it exactly like they did with Edward,
What?
but I like
What's so
Queen
funny?
Latifah's twist on the show.
Yeah. Because she
I'm on the.
and the deal is, she's doing it in they're letting her do it in her own way, not trying to emulate the original, because that would have made
Sorry.
it dead on arrival if they tried that.
And it's already been renewed for a new season too.
Mhm. Yeah, which is a good thing.
You know
Sorry.
what? I don't know if this would be the same. Cultural misappropriation. Like it would be like me. Don't take any offense, listeners. It would be like me getting dreadlock extensions and go around trying to talk like an African American.
Yeah, that was real popular for certain white guys to do back in the 90s.
I know, but now it would be considered cultural misappropriation to do that.
Well, you know what they say, gents.
Imitation is
Imitation.
the surest form of flattery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, I'm still on the fence as to whether or not I like the reboot they did of Reboot.
Yeah. Let's see. I know. I will tell you this right now. This is one thing. If there's one thing I'm glad for.
Frodo, if you want into the call, come back in.
But
I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're
Frodo
fine.
is listening to my end of this and watching the stream on his TV. I don't know why he bounced out of the call, but he acts like he keeps wanting to talk to me. And I think the smart thing for him would be to rejoin the call and just to talk with everybody.
Oh well.
And he's refusing.
All right. Well, I mean, it's his baby. But anyway, one thing I'm glad, a few years ago, there was talk about a reboot of Murder, She Wrote with Octavia Spencer. Thank goodness that one did not take off.
No, there will only be one Jessica Fletcher, and that's Angela Lansbury.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I probably don't think that we're gonna have her as Jessica Fletcher. Probably somebody else, but probably have the same idea of her being an author. But it never did get off the ground. But the one thing I don't like is, when they reboot a show to have an African American person play a character that had been white before, just to satisfy.
I hate that too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this.
PC
there is an exception to
amok.
that.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
When they adapted Wild Wild West, I thought they made a good choice casting Will Smith as James West,
Mm-hmm.
just because he played the part well.
Yeah.
Granted, that was my first real exposure to the franchise, but I still liked it. For the time it was made, I really do not think it was done for any reason other than that Will Smith
I'll
filled
be
the part.
back.
Mm-hmm.
But they did the same thing when they adapted Annie, Little
Yeah.
Orphan Annie,
Mm-hmm.
into a movie. Made her black, had Daddy Warbucks be a millionaire rapper,
Mm-hmm.
and you're right, it was solely done for the sake of satisfying a largely momentary PC requirement, because that's all this is. What's going on is people who were taught by extreme liberals growing up are coming of age, and they're deciding it's yesterday when it's not only not, it's a good 30 years removed from that perceived yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm
basically
back.
what they're doing is saying, I have all this knowledge of wrongs and I don't know what the hell to do with it. So
Let me
I'm
give
going
you.
to pretend that wrong is there and I'm going to apply it to anything I can.
Yeah, and here's a great example. A lot of people say, "Well, the song White Christmas shouldn't be played anymore." There's just one problem. It's got to do with snow.
Exactly.
Sheesh.
And that's how insane it is, Shirley. What's going on is that these people are coming of age and looking at that. And more importantly, people who previously made a living supporting disenfranchised groups are discovering that they're getting ready to lose their jobs when those groups get enfranchised. So they start grasping at straws to say they're still disenfranchised.
Yeah, because
Basically, their job was to cry about something, and they're starting to run out of reasons to cry.
yeah, and here's a great example. This was actually a comic book. Mask got a reboot in a comic book, and they made Matt Tracker an African American. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't mind the idea. It's like, okay, Matt's African American. I can live with that. I was okay with that. What turned me off? They made him a juvenile delinquent. That was my turn off. I said, if you're going to make him that kind of a stereotype, forget it. I'm not even going to touch it.
I don't know whose bright idea that was, but that was
It's
incredibly
like
stupid.
why couldn't they have at least made him an intelligent African American? Because there are intelligent African Americans out there. The problem is they don't get in the spotlight that often, which is part of the problem.
And a bigger part of the problem is we don't have the people who are. Here's what's going on, Shirley. The people who are complaining about this aren't sitting down and writing entertainment media featuring these characters. And when they do, you've heard of the Bechdel test, right?
What is that?
What is that?
You're going to love this. The Bechdel test is a measure of female representation in literature and movies.
Oh,
And
wow.
it has to do with passage of the following criteria. It has to have 2+ female characters engaged in conversation for, I think, at least 10 minutes about
What?
something other than a man.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I got a story that'll pass the Bechdel test. A female version of Mouse Hunt.
But oh yeah, but I mean, some things need to play out. Let them play out. Like
Well,
I hope. I mean,
here's the
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Shirley. Here's the other thing. In addition to that, okay, what's going on is that in addition to saying they're not represented, people are putting standards about how they're represented on these films so that the focus is not on the content of the movie the content of the story itself,
Hmm.
but on the accidents of birth of the characters. They'll focus on non-Caucasian characters, gay characters, female characters, disabled characters, whatever.
Yeah.
That's not the point. It's like, I'll give you a great example. When J.K. Rowling decided to out Albus Dumbledore as gay, she claimed that that was the reason for his friendship with Gellert Grindelwald.
Hmm.
If you actually reread the books, unless he's lying to you, it wasn't. And his sexuality basically does not come into play in any of the stories. So outing him as gay is nothing but a political stunt.
Yeah, and
It's the same trope as when they remade the Disney movie Beauty and the Beast, saying that LeFou was going to be gay. Okay. Frankly, Jason Gad, I think was his name, was acting like a foil. He was not acting gay. Okay.
yeah, it's like, what is the point?
The
It's like,
point surely is this. They are convinced that in order for it to have proper representation of certain accidents of birth, you have not you not only have to include them, you have to draw attention somehow
yeah,
to
and
their accidents of birth.
and
And that's the nature of things like the Bechdel test.
yeah, and I'll give you a perfect example. Last season of that show, My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, they
Oh
made such a
boy.
big deal out of the fact that I cannot remember the little one's name, but she has
Uh
two aunts.
Apple Bloom.
I think that's it. Apple
Fluttershy?
Bloom. No, Apple
Fluttershy?
Bloom. It was Apple Bloom. Yeah. She has. Yeah. She has two aunts. For some
I could have
unknown reason, they made a
I'm
huge
sorry,
deal out of it.
I gotta do this.
Okay.
This isn't, you guys remember Mad TV, right?
Yes,
You remember Stewart?
I think so.
I could imagine Apple Bloom paraphrasing Stewart in this fashion. Hi there, Apple Bloom. I'm your aunt. Do you remember which one I am? The alcoholic? No. Oh, you're the one who lives with her friend, Jessica.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, well, all they did was, it just needed, on the show itself, it was a very subtle affair. They didn't make such a huge splash about it, but they had to talk about it, and it was like, look, just it's like, do you have to out everything every time? Seriously, because
And
it
you know what? What was the age group of the kids in Friendship is Magic?
probably about, at least, I'd
Not
say,
very old at all.
no, I'd say about,
Unless you're a brony or a
Too young
Pegasus
to
sister, and then it doesn't
understand
matter.
a gay relationship until they got a little older.
yeah, but the thing,
Well,
is,
you
the thing
know,
is, they could have done it subtly. Just show the two. Not say anything. It probably wouldn't have even mattered.
it's like I said, Janet, what goes on is that people are demanding representation of certain accidents of birth, and they're setting high enough standards that really the only thing that's quote acceptable unquote is just about throwing them a parade. I wish I were kidding in that regard, but that's basically, they act like that's basically what they want. They want the accident of birth paraded out for everybody to see.
Yeah. Sorry about this, Mike.
That's the only.
But I mean,
Oh no, you're fine.
yeah, because I mean, this is a situation where I feel like, do they have to out every single thing every time? I mean, if you just show the two ants, just be subtle about it. Don't even mention it. It'd be fine.
Exactly.
It wouldn't even be a big deal. But it
And
seems
most
like everything's
importantly,
a big deal.
yeah, most
They
importantly
have
with
the-
that,
They
Shirley,
have the PC police.
Yeah, that's true too. Go ahead, John.
the most important thing with that, Shirley, is that when they just appear, people essentially have the subconscious choice either to notice it or not to notice it.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't care about it, it's not shoved in their face.
Right.
If they care about it, they have evidence that it's there.
Mm-hmm. But it
The
seems like
problem is people seem, this may be what you were going to say. The problem is it seems like for the people advocating this, that's not enough. It has to be thrown in the face of those who would even ignore it.
in other words, it has to be overt.
Yeah.
Because, because think about this. When Sailor Moon brought along Uranus and Neptune, okay?
Uh-huh.
In Japan, they are in fact a lesbian couple. Okay?
Yeah.
That's well known. Here, a lot of people got upset when they were on the first time because they labeled them as cousins.
Yeah. Now I will say this in light of the general age group, if I don't know how they were portrayed in the original Japanese series as being lesbians, but if it was potentially questionable content, I can understand
Yeah, I mean here in the
people's
US,
upset in that.
yeah, because in Japan, two of the villains in the very first season, I think it was Zoisite and Kunzite over there. Both of them, they were in a very tight relationship and they were both male. But
Uh-huh.
because of that situation, they had to make Zoisite here in the US a female in the original DIC version in order to avoid that situation. Which
Yeah.
that at that
And that
time I
is
can
stupid.
understand.
And it was still stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, here's the thing, Shirley. If you knew they were a lesbian couple because they were grabbing each other's, they were walking along holding each other's asses, no, I wouldn't want my kid watching that.
Right. Which is
But
fine.
the fact is, yeah, the original Japanese did it right. And hopefully that's what they've done in the reboot instead of making them, in a word, flamboyant.
Yeah. Okay. The good news is when Viz Media took over,
Oh,
they did it.
guys,
Yeah.
Frodo's going to join the call again, I think.
Okay. Yeah, but anyway.
Okay, can I say something?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I agree with, you should be subtle about it. I don't know if anybody else knows this, but when my dad worked for the railroad, there was a guy that he worked with that he could not stand because he was openly gay and he didn't give a shit who knew about it because he would flaunt it every chance he got.
Mm-hmm.
My
Okay,
dad
guys,
could not
Frodo needs to
stand
say
him.
something. Let's listen to him.
Okay. Go ahead,
All right.
Frodo.
You just mentioned not throwing accidents of birth or whatever in the face of people. Well, as many people know, I am a fan still of the Power Rangers. And in this recent series, Dino Fury, they have a ranger named Izzy, who is a female Green Ranger. And when she morphed the first time, she ripped off her skirt and said, I'm not really interested in that. That's nothing. Okay. A little later in this season, actually, episodes that haven't even aired in America yet, but have overseas, you see Izzy and another girl, I don't even remember who it is, intermingling their hands together while they walk away. That's not flaunting it. That's not like grabbing boobs and just everything. But it's enough of a cue that Izzy is the first official on-screen Power Ranger to be LGBTQ plus.
And that's a problem I have. People,
But
But they didn't flaunt it, John.
and that's fine. But here's the other thing. When you try to celebrate something as being the first whatever, generally what that does anymore, at least for me, is make it sound like you expect me to celebrate the fact that they have that accident of birth. Okay, she's an on-screen gay character. Okay, Shatner and Uhura shared a kiss. I'm less worried with maybe a handful of exceptions like that, just because at the time in a lot of places that was illegal to broadcast. I'm less worried about the implications of it than I am about how it affects the story.
Okay. At the same standpoint, John, I understand where you're coming from. But let me put into another perspective for you. Okay? This is history making in a different way, but in a similar sense to Uhura Kirk. Okay? This is the first time in a mainstream children's show that LGBT has been viewed as normal.
Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is completely debatable, but I know this. For me, it is going to go back in my mind as the trivia question: what series was the first to carry an openly LGBTQ character in a supporting role? The answer: Power Rangers. Great for trivia night. For me, not a whole lot else.
Actually, she's not a supporting role. She's one of the 5 main, well, now 6 main characters.
Okay, then it's a main role. Great. But
I think John, you and I both agree they really don't need to announce this to the world.
it's not even that, Shirley. What I think is you shouldn't be celebrated or denigrated for your accidents of birth.
Exactly.
And the fact is, when you go down in history, when a TV show goes down in history because one of its characters has an accident of birth, not something that was, for example, illegal to have, which would have resulted in criminal action, or completely taboo, which could have resulted in an angry mob, something like that. But something that happens, yes.
To be fair, this could cause an angry mob. There are people out there who are ardently against any mention of the LGBT spectrum being okay. And it's people like that that really frustrate the fuck out of me, because it's a fact of life. It's even been mentioned in the Bible.
Yes, and not generally in a good way, which is why people have a problem with it these days.
It's just still, you get what I'm saying.
Yes, I do. My point is, if people who are or can claim to be disenfranchised because they possess certain accidents of birth want to be enfranchised, and the ones who are truly disenfranchised do, the way to do that is by not having your accident of birth noticed, by it not being a thing when people notice the color of your skin beyond an identifying characteristic, when they not notice your gender or your sexual orientation beyond an identifying characteristic. In other words, if we are truly going to represent LGBTQ, then it needs to stop being historical when a TV show or movie character is on that spectrum. I know that seems callous, but the fact of the matter is, if you want to be part of the group, you can't go out of your way to try to make yourself distinct from it. Surely it's 5 after 10. I don't know if we have any more ways to run this point into the ground, but
No, But I mean,
Let's go ahead and call it, I think.
yeah, I'll just end it with this. We all have our viewpoints. John and I agree. Like it's getting a little too overt, but you know, and maybe one of these days, like someone will just will just have like two aunts or two uncles or two dads and just say nothing and be done with it. Hope that
Frankly,
happens.
my life was complicated enough before that, but
Mm-hmm. All right. So anyway, all right. So tomorrow night we are doing game night, and tomorrow night we'll be doing board game online. Now I don't know if we're gonna be going to 2 hours or possibly past 2 hours. And remember, I will have had my shot tomorrow, so we'll just have to wait
It's
and
It's
see
all
what
okay,
right,
Shirley.
Shirley.
happens.
No biggie.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like if I go, you'll know why.
Yep.
But don't
All good,
worry.
Shirley.
Don't worry. I'll have plenty of water. I'm going to have soup for the next couple days. I'll be good to go. So, all right. So, let's go ahead and play the 10-second ending here. I just have to get to it. There we go. Hang on.
It's all right. No biggie.
I'll work on that this weekend. There's still a lot I haven't
Shirley,
done
it
yet.
looks like the stream went blank.
I know, it did.
Okay.
I know, because I thought I had added the video in there, but apparently I forgot.
Gotcha.
All right, so that's on me, folks. I
It
apologize.
happens.
All right, so anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and say love, peace, and chicken grease. Everybody have a great night. Sleep well. Stay safe. And we'll see you tomorrow for game night. Night, everybody.